Let's now see how we can create multiple implementation for our specific interface. We will write this content of our file, save it, and close it. We will create new directory, model, and inside of this directory, we will create person and sector directories. Inside of our person directory, we will create new file, person, where we will declare our new structure, person. Next, we will create new file, person, name. Let's now create a new file, sector.go, in sector directory. Next, we will create new file, sector people, also inside of our sector directory. In this file, we created two new functions, setPeople and getPeople, which are connected to our sector structure, and both of these functions belong to sector package. So now, at this point, we created two different packages, sector and person, where we created two new structures and new functions connected to those structures. Now, the question is how we can create one interface which will be connected to both of our structures, person and sector. We must create interface, write new methods inside that interface, and then we must create new functions which are connected to our structures, and they are also in the same time matched with names and declarations with our methods inside of our interface. So first step in this task would be where and how we can create our interface. Inside of our model directory, we have person and sector directories. Let's now close these two directories. Because we want to create interface which will be connected to both of our structures, person and sector, we must create that interface above packages person and sector, which means that we must write our interface inside of our model package. In this file, we will create new interface. Package for this file will be model and interface name will be message service. This file belongs to model package. Our interface message service will have one method system, and this method will not have inputs and outputs. Also, we will create constructor for our message service. Now, the question is how we can connect our message service to our person and sector structures. We will write implementation for our new functions inside of our person and sector packages. Inside of our person package, we will create a new file, person exts message.go. We assigned this kind of name to our file because we want to know that this file contains implementation for our external service. This service is interface which we don't have inside of our package, and that interface belongs to some other package. That's why we wrote exts inside of our name of our file. Inside of this file, we will create implementation of one specific function. We will create function system which is connected to our person structure, and as we can see, this function have exactly the same name and same declaration as our method inside of our message interface. We are doing this because we want to connect our external interface message service to our person structure. So in this case, all conditions which we must satisfy so we can transform our specific interface to our specific structure will now be successful. Let's now create new file inside of our sector package, and inside of this file we will create implementation in which we are connected our message service interface to our sector structure. We created a new function, system, which is connected to our sector structure, and this function has exactly the same name and declaration as our method inside of our message service interface. Because of that, now we can also transform our message service interface into our sector structure. Now we have two different implementations from two different structures which we can connect to our message service interface. Let's now write new file main in which we will write whole implementation. First, in our import section, we will import three different packages. We will import our model package because our message service interface belongs to that package. Next, we will import package person so we can create new person structures. And then we will import our sector package so we can create our sector structures. Inside of our main function, we will create three new variables. Now, we will create a new variable, message, and that variable will have data type of a message service. We will access our model package, and then from that package, we will call our new message service function. Our message variable has data type message service. After this, now we have totally different picture because both of our structures can be assigned to our message service. So let's assign our variable p1 to our message interface. In this case, our message will be transformed to our p1 object, and that object will call own implementation for system function. Beside of p1 variable, which has data type person, we can also assign object which has data type sector. In this case, our message interface will be transformed to our s1 variable, which has data type sector, and then that object will call own implementation of system function. Now we can see difference between two calls of our system method inside of our message interface. Also, we can assign s2 variable to our message interface. Because S1 and S2 have exactly the same implementation, because these two objects have the same data type, we have the same form of our second and third output. Here we learned how we can create architecture where we created our interface and we wrote multiple implementations for many different structures which can be assigned to our specific interface. Also, we learned how we use modules, how we can create our architecture with them, and how we can separate our code in multiple files so we can have a better understanding what we are building, and so we can have more cleared approach where is our next point.